And welcome to your favorite podcast of the Temple Channel League, the video capsule recaps of your Mets. Today, I'm not wearing the Mets hoodie. I'm wearing the hoodie of the skyline of DFW. I think it's part of the nostalgia of moving from the city. So, guys, we have hit half of the season, exactly 50% of the games, 14 games are on the books. And if you want to define what Splitsville means, then you got to look at this logo. Because not only we are 7-7, but we have a -1 run differential. So almost like starting from scratch after 50%. Still in the mix of the teams making it to the playoffs, but we truly know that we have to work very hard in the second half of the season because everyone wants to claim one of those 6 spots for the playoffs. So keep an eye on what's going to be the second half of the season from the Mets, the even Steven Mets. Talking about keeping an eye, well, definitely one person in the league that's keeping an eye on everything is the lost and found director, Scott Lawrence. He's doing phenomenally. You see picture after pictures in our Facebook group. He's just taking the lead on making sure that everyone is holding accountable. Myself have been part of the spot. However, I want to say that some people have been raising the concern about the style. And I'm not the one to say yay or nay over here, but I do want to facilitate that dialogue. Reason why I'm launching this survey that you can see over here, also posted on the comments, calling for the impeachment of the lost and found director. So in a week from now, go ahead, cast your vote, and let's see if this is actually something that you would like to see. Or on the other hand, you're just supporting such an awesome job he's doing. I'm one of the. I'm gonna disclose it. I'm supporting what he's doing, in spite of being one of the subjects of the lost and found items. And speaking about the valuable of those items, today the Mets face the D-backs, and my good friend Sardi asked me if I can give him one of the collectibles from the Mets Balls in 2026. So for those of you who don't know, every single game of the Mets is being branded like this. Mets as usual, right? Spring 2026. But this is what it makes it very valuable is the Last Dance edition. So if you happen to see one of those balls, can you imagine how valuable they are? Just 26 of those, right? So Sardi's asking for that. I'm actually going to tweak it a bit. I'm just going to involve the Lost and Found Commissioner to see if we actually put this for bid into the relievers. And maybe Sardi could be one of the winners. Speaking about winners and Sardi, well, the D-backs beat the Mets on the second game. And the starting pitcher of that team is the guy that we're going to have in your favorite section, the interview, Ariel Rodriguez, also known as A-Rod. So let's see you right there.
Hi, we are in week 7 of the interviews today. I'm with one of my best friends, a former Marauder, and we'll go into that in a second. The one and only Ariel Rodriguez. Welcome, Ariel.
Thank you, Leo. It's a pleasure to be here. Absolutely.
I always like to start interviews by asking people, what is your feeling, your take about this league? What makes you wake up that early, even if it's raining, thunders, or 120 degrees? What makes you come to the field Sunday after Sunday to this league?
Well, I'm glad this is impromptu, so I couldn't prepare my answer, but I'll tell you right off the bat because I still feel it right now. 8 years ago, you and Kike brought me into the league, and I didn't know what to expect. I just know that it was a brotherhood and it was a good place to play some softball. I wake up in the morning and I want to be here. I want to see the guys in the league. I want to say hello. I want to see the families come out here and have a good time. I love coming out here and competing, but it's just seeing everybody, right? We get lost in the daily scenarios of every single day, the work and personal life and whatnot. But when we come out here, it's good to see everybody still out here playing ball, having fun.
Yeah, I fully concur. To me, that's one of the best thing about this league is the brotherhood, but also the friendship that you're gonna build over the years. But it's also the momentum, right? I always said during my podcast that regardless if you win or not, and everyone is here trying to win, you want to make sure that you build long-lasting memories, right? So one of the most remarkable things that I have from long-lasting memories is having this fellow over here making his debut as a pitcher, but not on the pitching stand, although he did phenomenal with the Marauders, but hitting a home run using an eye patch. Can you elaborate more on how that situation happened? I don't know, like 6-7 years ago.
Correct. It was started off as a joke, right? I did tell Leo that if I did get a chance to bat against this team, the eye patch that he gave us, he gave the entire team eye patches when we were on the Marauders, that I would bring it back and I would use it for an at bat. I didn't expect to do, anything out of the ordinary, but what ended up happening, I do remember, was against Alexander's Hot Rods, right? Kelly Alexander was on the mound. Put the patch on. I could only see through one eye. It felt really, really weird. But I said, okay, if my perception is screwed, I'm just going to sit on the ball and see what happens. And the ball's coming, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Swing, and the ball just kept going, going, bye. And it was a wholesome moment, right? Like, how do you expect to be able to hit a home run with one eye when you don't do it very often? It was a sweet memory. It was a sweet memory.
Yeah, I remember that one. Well, it was with my team, right? So of course we celebrated that
Absolutely,
one. But that was,
absolutely. I think we went wild. My blood pressure went through the roof. I don't know if I was gonna faint or come back and celebrate. I couldn't tell.
we have still waiting for him to do it again. Every time that we face him, I challenge him. He's not wearing the iPad, so he just wants to keep that one as a one and only. But that's good.
I think a one and done is pretty good on the eye patch. It was difficult enough when I did it. But it was a special moment. I appreciate the opportunity to have done that. And it was sweet. That's one of those things that'll stay with you. I mean, there's so many different things that'll happen in this league, so many different moments with so many different teams, and little moments that stick with you however long you're in this league. I've been in this league now 8 years. I've had maybe 6 coaches because a couple of them kept drafting me over and over again, and I appreciate that, playing with different people and having different moments. It's the momentum, like Leo had mentioned previously, but it's also it's a beautiful thing. It's very hard to explain when you're trying to play this game with more than just the love for the game, the love for the people and the respect that we have for this league. You don't have this kind of organization, you don't have this kind of respect and brotherhood in different outfield places all throughout the nation. This is very unique. And when I figured that out, it immediately came to me that if ever needed any kind of scenario where I would have to be able to serve the league, the preservation of the league, and just taking care of the originality and the founders and what they believed in and how they built this, they dedicated so much time to this, that us who partake in it, it's a luxury.
Yep.
Right? This is an opportunity to be out here and compete and be a part of this league. And anybody who sees this and thinking about join. Try a different perspective to the game of softball. Play it with all your heart and all your passion. Come out here, be celebrated. Pick your head up if things don't go your way. But always remember that whoever wins here, there's always next season.
Yeah, that is true. And I'll promise you that we didn't plan this one, but I'm noticing that he actually is wearing an interesting hat. And I want to speak about something that the league did for us that come from a different origin. And it's allowing for a couple of seasons for us as captains select the team all for home countries, right? The one that we have been rooting since we were kids. So I had the opportunity to run the Leones, if you know. But this fellow over here ran the Águilas from the Dominican Republic, and he's wearing the hat. Tell me what it meant for you to be captain with the Águilas.
When that opportunity came about, it wasn't a lifetime opportunity. I felt up to the task, and being able to share that heritage, that culture, and so many championship stories is a thrill, is an honor to be able to do that. I know you felt the same way with the Leones de Caracas, and Águilas del Cibao is one of the most decorated and championship teams in the Caribbean for the Dominican Republic. A lot of Major League Baseball players have come out of there, and it's been amazing. It's one of those opportunities that when you play in Temple Shalom softball, you get opportunities to do really cool stuff. And for me, it was a dream come true.
Yep. And actually, we're right next to Field 3. There was one match between the Leones and the Águilas, and we beat the Águilas over here. So
that's right.
Talking about coincidence, but yeah, that happened there. So we're coming up to the end. I mean, any final words, anything that you want to say to everyone, to the league? I know that you're inviting everyone to join, which I think is phenomenal, but any final words that you want to share with everyone watching 50 plus subscribers, by the way?
I'll tell my friend Leo Kova first. Thank you for inviting me to this league. You did something that I could never repay you for. Bringing back everything that you can put into this game, this league allows you to do it. I'm grateful to the people here, to all the commissioners that have come and gone, to the delegates that have put in the time and the effort to rank people appropriately and take care of situations. Everything's amazing here. I know I keep saying that, but it really is. You kind of have to live it and breathe it to feel it, right? And come out here and just have a great time. Do it again. Share the life that we have with each other, and just have fun.
Thank you, Ariel. I always give something to my interviews, but I left it at home. Bad on me, but I'm gonna bring it next time, and it's a signed ball by me. It's gonna be a collectible worth millions of dollars
Oh wow.
when I'm leaving the league. But I wanted to say that in that ball, the thing that I wrote, and I want to make sure that it's going to be recorded here. He's one of the most greatest competitors that you can have in your team, but always lifting someone up. And I always appreciate when you're being part of my team. Thank you,
I
Ariel.
appreciate that very much, Leo. Thank you so much.
So long.
Take care, guys.
Really nice interview. You can tell when the interviews are extended for more than 5, 6 minutes, is because there's so much additional content that you want to discuss. So I really enjoy my time talking to Ariel today. I didn't enjoy much the second game, though, because let's start with the second game, right? So the Mets lost their opportunity to get their second sweep just because Ariel was phenomenal on the mound when the Mets faced the D-backs. A very close affair, probably the closest one that the men has been so far. We ended up losing 7-6, with the potential of the rain and the thunderstorm, but we managed to figure that out. We had the tying run in second, but unfortunately, we couldn't muster just a couple of hits that would have give us the walk-off win, the first walk-off win of the season if we have done that. Nonetheless, that was game two. Game one, the Dodgers couldn't defeat the Mets because the Mets scored 18 runs against 8. It was a very close affair all the way to the last inning. We were leading 10-8. We were on the lead the whole game. But hey, we came strong on the seventh inning, 8 runs, and that just took out the Dodgers out of the game thanks to the grand salami of super sub Michael Glosher, who came at the last minute because my good friend Gary Granato couldn't make it to an emergency that he has on his family, some sickness at the house. So I have to bring Mike at 7 a.m. in the morning. He was ready, and boy, he was because he gave us a grand slam that opened that inning and the game for that matter. Talking about the superstars of the Mets, we have Dylan McKay, who went 6 for 7, 4 runs, two doubles, a home run, and 8 RBIs. Probably the best game that Dylan has had so far in this season. We also had Stan Thomas. Stan the man went 4 for 6 with a couple of runs, all singles, one walk, two RBIs, and phenomenal pitching in both games. We should have supported him more on the second game. And lastly, our third baseman, Andy Waterling. Andy went 4 for 6 with 3 runs, all singles, and very solid performance at the hot corner. Without any further ado, let's jump into the last dance section because I know you want to know which team I'm going to be recalling this time. The Mets, the Rangers, the Cowboys, and a new one, Venezuela as the World Baseball Classic champions. You know where I'm at, Mateos and Bruno's room. They used to be the fanboy section, now the last dance section. Today, I don't think I have to give any previews. When you see this jersey, you recognize this little fellow here is the Marauders. But this is the first one of the Marauders. That was the 2019 Fall Marauders. My first season as a captain, definitely one that I'll remember forever. I remember us being eliminated with the D-backs with Andrew Willis, which was the previous episode, and Andrew getting me into being a captain. I decided to take the challenge, and ever since, it's one of the things that I have enjoyed the most in the league, with some breaks, but definitely one of the things that I have enjoyed the most. That season, you saw Ariel in the interview talking about wearing the eye patch. I didn't give the eye patch just to Ariel, but to everyone. Ariel was the only one that had courage to actually aim to bat and hit a home run with that eye patch. That was the season in which we led the league in home runs. That's been the only season that my team of mine has led the league in home runs in the fall. That was a pretty fun thing to have. We have the R sign every time that we're winning a game. I guess was kind of replicating what we're doing with the D-backs with a different tone. Uh, we did the trade cards, as you can see in here, and I sent it to everyone with all the stats. But one of the most important things for me into that season, although we couldn't win the championship, you should know this by now, right? I've never won it. Uh, but was the fact of how much you put yourself in a secondary position, and you try to make sure that you have the right chemistry, right? So in the past, I would just be in a player, right, trying to give my best and the possible positive that I can bring. But this one is a different level, right? Because you want to make sure that that atmosphere and chemistry is within your team, and that was a honestly a challenge for me just to develop that dynamic, but I was so fortunate to have such a good group of guys the first time that I made a draft. From guys that are no longer playing the league, like Jordan Alsop or Gustavo Chirinos or Greg Badger, one of my greatest friends, to now Giants captain and current champion Andy Williams, Ariel Rodriguez, Jay Swank. I mean, Team Jamieson, right? What a steal that I got in the second round. And the list goes on and on, right? So that was a pretty fun team to have for sure. Different whole experience for me as a player into this league, and one season I will truly remember for the ages. People did ask me, right, why did I pick the Marauders of all the teams, right? So back in those days, we didn't have the luxury to pick all the teams that we can or we want. There was a set of jerseys that the provider gave us to us, and we just have to pick to whatever was left. And I selected this one just because it resembles so much a statue that is in the city that I was raised, Puerto La Cruz. You can see it over here. He's called the Pirata of Puerto La Cruz, the Pirate of Puerto La Cruz. And when I saw that picture, like, well, I gotta pick this one, right? And it's as closest as home as it can get, right? So that was the only rationale that I have to pick the Marauders. As a matter of fact, I struggled the first few weeks just to even pronounce this in English, Marauders, right? Because that's not necessarily a a common word to use in the Spanish language. Back in the days, we didn't have any podcasts. Unfortunately, that was on the old side, but I wrote some captain corners that were quite fun because I wrote them as I was truly a captain and with some of that jerk. So um, I wish I can recover those. Maybe I have it on my emails. So they're super fun with actually maps of quests on us, which are going to be the next thing that we're going to be facing, all of that. And that was part of the thing that I wanted to put in place and that first experience as a captain. So that's, like I said, super cool, fun season, super powerful team. I didn't intend that to happen, and we ended up being quite strong, but we got outbeaten in the playoffs in that season. So next week, the Mets are gonna be a pretty fun weekend. We have been looking for this one since the beginning of the season because it's the doubleheader against our city rivals, the Yankees. So you can imagine how that Big Apple Classic is gonna turn out next Sunday. It's gonna be 11:30 and 12:40. So if you're trying to book those time, make sure that you get a seat because we're gonna be up to a pretty good ride into the New York City Classic. So I'll see you in a week. So long.